wait. Give it a minute, see if some people show up. Get my chat window where I can see it. Well, tonight I want to work on some new music for Wildermyth. I have a bunch of comics music to write. Basically, cutscenes in Wildermyth are in the form of comics, comic panels, with written out text instead of something like animatics or whatever. I have a whole bunch of different themes that I need to make for comics. As a starting point, I have sacrifice, fellowship, mystery, ominous / portentous, lighthearted / good times / peaceful, magical, and whimsical. So, I'm not going to be able to get to all of those today in the next hour, but I want to work on some of them. One thing that I really like to do when I am starting a new piece for Wildermyth is go back and listen to stuff I've already written and decide what I want to tie back into. So let's do a little bit of that while we're seeing if anybody shows up. Start with the comics music that's currently in the game. This is for everything. So there's that. That loops forever. Somehow doesn't get super annoying, which I'm glad. Let's listen to Chapter Failed, which I think nobody has heard yet, actually. I think you, right now, if you fail a chapter, you lose the game. Enough of that. Hello, new viewer. So right now we are listening to some Wildermyth music that already exists, trying to think about what pieces that exist I want to tie into for something new. Trying to write new comics music. Not to replace the stuff that's there, but to add to it. So there will be lots of choices for the writers to pick for their different events, what kind of music they want to have playing in the background. Actually, let's listen to a little bit of Black Castle Ruins, which I know I've already gone back to a million times in what I'm writing. Black Castle Ruins is the main title, but I haven't really tied into the beginning of this piece. Okay, so like halfway through is where I have pulled from a lot in the past, but not so much the beginning. Oh no, I'm all tangled up. My headphones and my keyboard. Here we go. Alright. So let me go over to here. Okay, so we're in my beta template. Beta meaning like this is the stuff that I generally want loaded right away for anything I'm writing while we're in beta. I had an alpha template and it was much smaller and actually used different samples. So I made it better between alpha and beta. But we're going to save as... Ugh. Why did it go here? Cancel. Make a new folder for comics music. We'll call this general sketches because I'm really just going to try to flesh out some random ideas for different stuff. Wildermyth, beta, comics, general sketches. Normally I would do this on paper, but I thought it might be nice to do a stream of all this stuff, which means I have to do it on the computer. I like doing it on paper because then I'm not locked into anything on time and I can just like scratch down little scribbly ideas of various things without worrying about really where they are on the paper or what they're for, but we can do it here too. Okay, so just to recap. Oh hey, it's Glitch Alex. Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming to the stream. Let's see, so the themes that I have that I'm trying to hit are sacrifice, fellowship, mystery, ominous / portentous, lighthearted / good times / peaceful, magical, and whimsical. So I think I'm narrowing in on stuff that's more like sacrifice or ominous / portentous at the moment. Make sure this is working. Yep, okay. So when I think about sacrifice, I'm thinking about stuff like losing a character or losing a limb. I'm gonna listen to that a little bit at the beginning again. Yeah, okay. So I was in the right key. let's record something before I forget. This is, like, normally I would just scratch this out on paper, so I have to remember to actually record things. I'm gonna turn the metronome off because I don't really care about the time signature right now. I'm gonna change the time ruler format so that I'm not looking at them either. Okay. How long is that? "27 seconds roughly? Okay, that's pretty good. I'm shooting for like 30 to 45 seconds for each of these eventually. Okay. How do I want to do this? I think I will call this sacrifice. And we'll just keep going in linear fashion. Something similar to that. Oh no, I lost sound. Do I still have sound on anything else? Nope. That's fun. Okay. We will restart. See what's going on. Thankfully, this stuff loads pretty quickly. Alright. Okay, so it makes sound. Can I make sound? I can't make sound. Fun times on stream. Okay, it says it's there. The only thing that I did was change the title of that track. Let's try just resetting these to all inputs MIDI Omni, see if that fixes it. No. So what I'm doing here is going through each track and just playing nonsense on my keyboard to see if it makes any noise, and it's not making any noise. Well, sorry folks. What else can I try that doesn't involve restarting the computer and therefore restarting the stream? Let's wait for an error message saying you unplugged this thing. No. Right, we'll plug it back in. Alright. recognized. That happens about 30 to 40% of the time. Yes, add it. Still not working. Still selected. Well, I'm sorry everybody. This stinks. I don't believe I've ever had this problem. Well, let's save this. Close it. Open the beta template again, see if that works. And if it does, we'll just start a new file. It does not work. Yeah, still. Oh. Aha. Okay. That works. I don't know why that was a thing. But let's open up. Where are we? Oh, comics, music, general sketches. Oh, great. I made a folder in a folder. Game development, yes. Yes, this is how game development works. It just breaks constantly. Okay. Fun times, we're back in business. I'm glad I didn't have to restart the computer. So let's listen to that one more time, see what I did, and figure out what comes next. Okay. Oh, there's something in that. Okay, let's record something of that, get it on paper, so to speak. Would help if I played it correctly. Okay. Okay, so that's an idea. I don't like it as much, but it's a thing. Might refine it into something else later. That's what this is for, is time for ideas. What other direction could I go with sacrifice specifically? Is there anything else I want to listen to that would tell me? Let's listen to Chapter Failed one more time. So that's the thing. I don't know if I actually want to tie in with failure though, because losing a limb or losing a character is a conscious choice. I don't want you to feel like it was a bad thing. It's just a sad thing that happened. Yeah. Okay, that's enough listening for now. Let's listen to this first one again. I like this first one. Something I could add to that. Lower it down. Alright, the disadvantage of not working with a click is that now I have to try and feel my own tempo. It also just doesn't work. So let's make it a new idea over here. That's an idea. Let's work on something other than sacrifice. Sacrifice, fellowship, mystery, ominous / portentous, lighthearted / good times / peaceful, magical, and whimsical. Scared to rename this track, but we're going to do it anyway. Fellowship. Let's try fellowship. So let's go up the octave. I don't know how I feel about it, but the rule is write it down. Okay. Fellowship. Let's do something totally basic. I'm going to look up fellowship. Definition, just to see if some words spark something in my brain. The companionship of individuals in a congenial atmosphere and on equal terms. Friendship, comradeship, comradeship, comrade. I don't know. Fellowship, thesaurus. Affability, that's an interesting one. It could stand to be more affable. Club, communion, companionability, companionship, company, conviviality, familiarity, friendliness, guild, kindliness, league, order, society. Okay. Camaraderie. Yeah, that's not what it said, actually. That word makes more sense to me. Okay, let's listen to this thing I did again and think about how we could do it differently. That doesn't scream camaraderie to me. It's a little more into the realm of feeling like a friendship tune. Let's see if I can play that again. something. It doesn't feel very Wildermythy to me, though. Not sure why. Although the whole tone of Wildermyth is kind of dark musically, so anything happier is going to be a stretch into a new direction that I have to create. Speaking of, maybe I should try a little bit of lighthearted / good time / peaceful. I just played. Every once in a while things weasel their way into your brain. Like somebody linked me to a recording earlier today of Nessun Dorma. Let's not write Nessun Dorma. It's a famous aria from the opera Turandot, which happens to have been the first opera I ever saw in person. I had seen recordings of some other ones in music classes, but that was the first one I saw live, and it was such an amazing experience. I will never forget seeing just these crazy steps that went to nowhere in the middle of the stage, and the main guy, I forget the characters' names, I don't know, but the main guy who's trying to figure out the princess's name is just like laying on these stairs and singing out with this huge voice, Nessun Dorma. It was so beautiful. Okay, lighthearted, good times, peaceful. Lighthearted. That's a thing. Let's write that down. It's always the danger. I take my hands away from the keys and I forget what I'm doing. Okay, just try. Okay, basically exactly the same thing twice, but it's a sketch. This is what sketches are. Something else for lighthearted. Okay, write that down. It's kind of my rule is I write everything down, no matter how dumb it is, especially if it's dumb, actually. That's one of my, well, let me get this out before I actually forget it, and then talk about that. Of course I can't play it anymore. It was something like that. Fix where I just delete that a little bit. No, don't snap. Snap off. Okay, so yeah, I write down all the dumb things, especially the dumb things, because it's like a checkbox for your brain. It just gets it out and allows you to move on to the next thing. So sometimes if I'm blocked, I will write the stupidest things that I can possibly come up with on purpose, just to flush them out of my brain, to be like, this is dumb, this is trite, this is super stereotypical, or whatever, and then it does that one thing, it sort of flushes it out of your brain, but it can also actually spark some decent ideas after you're like, here's the quintessential stereotypical version of whatever I'm trying to do. It'll start sparking something a little more creative, and you'll think like, oh, well, I could do it this way instead, or I could do that, and then all of a sudden you're writing nice things again. Works pretty well. Alright, let's come up with another stupid thing for lighthearted, good times, peaceful. Even in D, maybe I should go into a different key. Maybe not that key. That's definitely a lighthearted thing. I don't think it's Wildermyth, but we're gonna write it down. Ah! Okay. Get rid of the little notes I didn't mean to play. Ducky Alice says, that's a great idea. Get the dumb stuff out of your brain. I like that. Thank you, Ducky Alice. One of these days, I will figure out how to get chat on my screen without it actually being on my screen. I'm not very good at streaming, in case y'all haven't noticed. I'm not very high-tech at it, I should say. But yeah, it would be nice to have the chat show up in the video that I record of my streams. Let's do something ominous. Ominous. Been working on some music for the Deepest that's pretty ominous. Let's try that. Let's try that again. Kind of like where that's going. I meant to play. That is one thing nice about being on the computer instead of on paper, is that you can very quickly just change something. I don't know what I want to do next. I guess just listen through everything that I've done so far. See if that sparks anything new. R for fellowship. Something kind of sparked in my mind when we were going through fellowship. Something like that. Let's fix that up real quick. Okay. I'm not sure that I care for the melody underneath, but I like these brighter falling thirds because it calls back to the falling thirds in the main theme, but in a much happier way. Lots of great dumb ideas tonight. That's good. It's good to work through them and get things started. See if I can do one more before we wrap up. It's almost 6. Think about magical. Something about that reminds me of Night on Bald Mountain. I feel like I've come up with a couple of things tonight that could be twisted into heroic somehow, and heroic is not on the list. Maybe it should be. Like that. That sounds like a heroic theme. Magical, back to magical. Could be like tremolo strings coming in. Something is in there. Something kind of magical-ish. Okay, cool. It is 6 o'clock. How about I'm just gonna play through this whole thing once, listen to what ideas I've come up with tonight, and call it for the stream. All right. I'm surprised that that all added up to like over 5.5 minutes of stuff. Wow. I guess that's one advantage over putting it on paper, is that you can quantify the time amount of music that you've written out. So yeah, that's what I do when I'm starting new things, is just write out a whole bunch of little ideas, and I will go back to these over time and see what has merit and what doesn't, and try and tease something more out of it and write that comics music. Well, thank you all for joining me. Also, I should say, if you want to, you can support me on Patreon. That's always the thing. And I want to say thank you to Ken, who is my newest Patreon subscriber. Thank you, Ken, for your contributions. I'm very excited to have you along for the ride. So yeah, that is all for tonight. Thanks again for joining me. Bye, everybody.